Hi, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Well, I apparently stepped on some people's toes when I talked about calories in, calories out the other day, and why I thought it was the greatest myth, biggest lie in terms of weight loss is concerned. And it was interesting discussions that I had with some people about this. And frankly, it boils down to this. We conflate the term calories with food intake. And to me, they're very different things. I mean, the type of calorie, the type of food that you're eating, to me is much more important than the total volume of calories. For instance, when I ate a standard American diet and I was trying to maintain my weight after I had lost weight having bariatric surgery, I was eating about 1,700 calories or so a day. Today, I eat somewhere around 2,800 calories a day. And I actually have a much lower weight, more muscle, and can maintain it. I've been maintaining this weight pretty steady for over 3 years, yet I'm eating more calories. So to me, I'm looking at things from a slightly different perspective from them. So when you think of calories as just the total amount of food, I think you're forgetting the fact that food comes down to 3 basic food groups: carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Of these, only 2 are essential. We need to eat protein and we need to eat fat. Carbohydrates are completely optional. So if you don't have to eat them, what I have found by going on a low-carb diet is it kind of equates to what we consider the insulin resistance model, which is this. Whenever you eat a carbohydrate, it converts at some point into glucose. And glucose elevates your blood sugar, which stimulates the release of the hormone insulin. And insulin is a fat storage hormone. Without it, you can't store fat. That's why type 1 diabetics are called, dying of a wasting disease. Their body cannot store energy. That's why they have to inject insulin to get them to be able to put fat on their body. So if you have no insulin, you don't have any fat. And if you ate just nothing but fat, arguably, you would probably lose weight or at least not gain it because your body couldn't store any of your energy as fat because you're not producing the extra insulin required to make that happen. Because fat does not stimulate insulin. Protein does to some degree, but carbohydrates definitely does. So let's talk about why I really think this model of calories in, calories out fails for trying to achieve long-term healthy weight loss. And let me try to clarify that terms. When I say long-term, I'm talking about for over a year or 2. And healthy means that you maintain your skeletal muscles. So you keep your bones and you keep your muscles, but you lose fat. That to me is healthy weight loss. And that's what I believe everybody wants to achieve. You want to keep your muscles, but you want to lose your fat. So if you're going to try to lose that, okay, is there any science behind it? And remember, I try to look at 3 different things. What are the mechanisms? What is our ancestral history? What's the science say? Have there been any studies on it? Number 2, what are other people's results? And then what have I found out in my own life? And when you put the 3 of those together, I start to get to a point where I think this is true. So let's talk about all these different aspects. The most important study, I think, when it comes to losing weight in the calories in, calories out model would be the Ancel Keys' study that he did. It was a starvation experiment done on conscientious objectors in 1944 or 45. And what these volunteers did was they started off eating a baseline diet to maintain their normal weight, and they were eating over 3,000 calories a day. Then they cut it in half to about 1,500 calories a day. And the results were pretty dramatic. Cutting somebody's calories in half resulted in all of them feeling cold, lethargic. They had lost all interest in sex. They became obsessed with food over time, and frankly, that was just, and they were miserable as a group. And they held, all but 2 of them held out and completed the study. Then, when the study was done, they got them kind of fed back up. All of them got fatter than they were before the start of the experiment, except for a couple. That one of them became anorexic, the other became bulimic. I mean, they created eating disorders, and everybody got fatter. And that is the science that is kind of behind Weight Watchers. And then when you look at the numbers behind Weight Watchers, you realize, only 1% of people on Weight Watchers who sign up that have significant amounts of weight to lose are successful. They lose the weight and they keep it off. So whenever you run across somebody that is, hey, I did Weight Watchers, it worked for me, I've kept the weight off, ever since, 5-10 years or whatever, they are part of 1%. They are a very small group. Congratulate them. They've done a great thing. It's pretty impressive, but they are a 1%er. The vast majority of people fail. That's just the numbers. I mean, one of the reasons I had bariatric surgery was I looked at those numbers at Weight Watchers and realized that wasn't going to probably work. I was facing blindness and needed to lose weight, according to my eye doc. And I saw bariatric surgery at a 70% success rate. Weight Watchers had a 1%. I went with the numbers. And that's why I had bariatric surgery. And we'll get into my experience a little bit later. But let's think about, okay, that's the science. That's the mechanisms. We know that if you semi-starve and reduce calories, you can lose weight. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yes, if you starve yourself and you move more, you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to lose lean tissue, you're going to lose bone mass and other stuff, and you're going to regain the weight. And probably the biggest study on that, or the best study, was the Biggest Loser study, where these guys, that starved themselves for months, did a tremendous amount of exercise, highly motivated people, they were trying to win a prize, and they let them loose. They try to stick to their diets, and all of them gained their weight back except for one. And some of them got even heavier than when they started the show. That's why I don't think calories in, calories out, and starvation as a model works. The science just doesn't support it. There's that 1% that might succeed, but they're rare. So what about your own experience with your friends? How many people do you know that have gone out and really buckled down and starved themselves, exercised, lost weight, and kept it off for more than a year? And frankly, I don't know of anybody. I've known of people that have lost some weight. They put some pictures on Facebook. Everybody applauds, says, yay, you look great, wonderful. But they gain it back in less than a year. And I see it time and time again, because I think the Weight Watchers study kind of goes along with that. There's 1% that can maintain it, but most of us are going to gain it back. It goes along with my own experience. Look, I'm one of these. I was a kid in elementary school who's a chubby kid. I wore the husky pants. It wasn't until I turned about 15, hit puberty, that all of a sudden I started losing weight. I got down to about 200 pounds. And that lasted for about a decade. And it was wonderful while it happened. But when I turned about 25, the hormones shut off, and I'm starting to gain weight again. And I've had that on again, off again struggle my whole adult life. And I was in the Army Reserve, so getting down to weight was important from time to time. And I'd work and starve and try to lose weight again and then gain it back. And it was that cycle back and forth all the time. And then along comes Fen-Phen, and I love that drug. That drug combination helped me go from a 40-inch waist to a 36-inch waist, and I was very happy. Everything was going great. And then the FDA pulls the drug, and I gained the weight back. So that was also part of the struggle. And then I had, find the point, my 50, when I turned 50, my eye doc explains to me that I'm going blind unless I lose weight. So I have bariatric surgery. Then, after a few years of that, I started gaining weight again, even after having bariatric surgery, and went on a fad diet to lose quick 20 pounds. It worked, but I wasn't feeling very good afterwards, and even noticed the scale nudging up again after losing that 20 pounds. And that's when I found keto, or low carb way of eating. And that's when I started really, really worked hard at staying within 20 carbs or so a day. And once I made that transition, I lost additional weight and have been able to maintain stability. And what's interesting is when I looked at my old FitnessPal records, back before I went carnivore and keto, I was eating about 1,700 or so calories a day. I now eat over 2,800 calories a day. Now you would think that if you're eating over 1,000 calories more a day, your weight should go up, but it isn't. It's actually going down or maintaining. So the calories in, calories out model, from that perspective, just doesn't make sense. The numbers don't make sense. I've got, I'm eating more calories, yet I'm not putting on weight. And the reason why is because I don't eat carbs. I mean, they're so restricted. And because I don't have the insulin, I can't put on the fat. And that's why I think the calories in, calories out model is the greatest lie, biggest myth in terms of long-term, sustained, healthy weight loss. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. If you like this message, if you want to hear more like it, please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. I try to reply politely. I'd like to have real discussions. They make me think and help me explain things maybe better than I would without the comments. So if you agree, disagree, put the comments down below. That may give me thoughts for future videos. And I thank you for your support, for watching this, and I try to put out a new video every single workday. I will talk to you soon.